Hi, my name is Claire Turner, and I'm about to show you my all-time favorite piece of architecture. It is located in Hot Springs, Arkansas at the Garvin Woodland Gardens. The Anthony Chapel is a magnificent building carefully sited with a view towards Hamilton Lake. This chapel was designed by Maurice Jennings and David McKee. Both architects are alumni of the U of A's Fay Jones School of Architecture. They designed every element of the chapel all the way down to its wall sconces and outside lighting fixtures. Jennings describes Anthony Chapel as the finest of the more than 20 chapels he's designed around the country. He was accompanied by the help of nationally renowned design partner Fay Jones to create this beautiful chapel. It rivals the team's most famous creation, Thorncrown Chapel, that's located in Eureka Springs. The Anthony Chapel seats 160 people, and it's used for many different events like concerts, memorial, and christening services, and approximately 200 weddings annually. This awe-inspiring chapel has a very high demand for weddings. The waiting list is so long that you would have to book a wedding more than a year in advance to have it reserved. The Anthony Chapel was built almost 6 stories tall and has a 57-foot open rafter ceiling. From inside, the first thing your eyes are drawn to are the massive floor-to-ceiling pine columns and crossbeams that make a point at the center of the ceiling. These beams represent a symmetrical balance, with both of the opposing sides being identical to one another. The pattern of the beams move your eyes directly to the huge skylights above. During the day, the chapel is usually illuminated by natural light that beams down from the skylights in the chapel ceiling. At night, the lights that are on the ceiling and side walls reflect off all the windows. This gives emphasis to the chapel by making it look as if it were glowing. The size of the chapel looks pretty small from the outside, but when you walk in and see all the windows and high ceilings, it opens up the space a lot. It actually makes it feel and look very large. If you take a look at this picture, you will notice that the architects brought the outdoors inside by using an open beam bracing system on the ceiling, also made from huge pine columns. Along with the sleek and smooth design of the chapel, the texture of the wood as well as the flagstone floors portray the same qualities. The chapel has multiple skylights that let the sun beam through on the rustic flagstone floors. The views people capture from inside this church are truly breathtaking. All the windows and skylights let you capture the changing seasons with the magnificent view from inside. Jennings and McKee used the methodology of iconology when designing and building the Anthony Chapel. Many iconic forms are shown throughout this structure. The placement of the chapel in the Garvin Woodland Gardens is a great example of iconology. The Anthony Chapel was built in a secluded area of the garden. The reason for this is so that the chapel would be the only thing in sight to capture the viewer's eye. The chapel is solely surrounded by outdoor elements consisting of bright plants, a flagstone path, 4.5 miles of Lake Hamilton shoreline, and the forever high oak trees. They contribute to the beauty of the chapel by bringing out its best qualities, and the outdoor elements deeply contribute to the seclusion of the chapel as well. When you walk inside, your eyes are immediately drawn to the windows. They go from the floor to ceiling throughout the whole chapel. This gives viewers a sense of warmth and intimacy, which explains why this is a perfect location for a wedding. Maurice Jennings adopted Frank Lloyd Wright's and Fay Jones' principles of organic architecture. This chapel was built during the contemporary canon of art and architecture, but it still displayed past influences of the postmodernism canon. There are many stylistic influences that contributed to the design of the Anthony Chapel, the main one being organic architecture. Jennings and McKee used natural pine trees throughout the whole entire chapel. The use of natural light is another contributing factor. They carefully designed the chapel so that, during the day, the source of light needed would be the natural light that beams down dramatically through the skylights. There is also a harmony between the chapel and its natural surroundings. Around the time I visited the Anthony Chapel, I had been thinking about becoming a wedding planner in the future, and as soon as I saw it, I immediately knew that that was the career path I was going to follow. The whole time I was there, I was thinking how gorgeous it would be for such a special day. The location is perfect with all the trees, along with the view of Hamilton Lake. Couldn't get any better. The Anthony Chapel holds great value to me because it is my inspiration to become a wedding planner. I hope to plan weddings at the Anthony Chapel and for sure get married there in the future. I recommend everyone to visit the Anthony Chapel in Hot Springs, Arkansas. You don't want to miss out on such a gorgeous piece of architecture.